नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल. एक बार फिर से again, I don't want to call welcome here, but this is something which is really critical, urgent, important. जो साउथ अफ्रीका में हो रहा है, जिस तरह की सिचुएशन है. I have somebody with me from South Africa. I'm going to take her right away, and then I will also. I'm waiting for a few more people who will join. Hello, Nikki. How are you?
Hi, Varun. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I just sort of came outside. I was going to rush and stand in the queue so that we can get some basic essentials. I mean, the shops here are like virtually all of them are closed, and the one or two that are opened, you got to be in the queue for 4 hours to even get like probably bread or milk or whatever. That is if you're lucky.
Wow.
2 days we got turned away because we stood in the queue for about 4 hours, and when we went closer they said sorry, we can't take any more, and the stores were empty. And then the next day yesterday I went there like at 7 a.m. and I got in at about 1 p.m. So today I'm trying to be in the queue just so that I could help the others who have absolutely nothing.
Mhm. Wow, this is and how's the situation? I mean, from a rights perspective, or from people doing. I've heard really bad and nasty things. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's very tense, Varun. Varun, I must actually clear that I actually live in London, but I was born in South Africa, and I've been here for the last couple of months. And I have a choice right now whether to stay here and help the community or just fly back. And I've chosen to stay here and see what I can do for the community here. And as you know, I mean, last night I was up all night giving them my support till about 4 a.m. this morning. I mean, I was with you. The media is probably downplaying everything. And when they say they send the army, you can't see them. I mean, go to any of our Indian communities, you can't see them. And even when they went to like Durban Central, they sort of like for maybe just for the TV camera, and then they're gone. So the people are left to defend themselves. Communities are left to defend themselves. The main Indian communities are like Phoenix, Chatsworth, and maybe up in the south coast like Zinto, and they are after these communities. I mean, I have made you speak to one of the guys last night. They barely have 2 to 3 hours of sleep. They are protecting their own families. The police has let us down big time. They will stand and watch. If not, they are looters themselves. So you can't trust anyone here. I don't know if you saw the channel to actually watch is ENCA because they give you a lot of information and updates. So imagine this has been going on, Varun, for so long. The president only comes to Durban today, and he just came here just to show his face like he's supporting the people, but nobody is supporting the Indian community. And it is heartbreaking to see what people are going through. Everything has been flattened, been destroyed. They are after the infrastructure. They're now threatening the water plants, the power supplies, and we are sitting on the edge, and it's just the men here, the brothers and the sons and the boys. They are actually protecting the Indian community here.
But what about the Indian government or officials? Are they saying anything? Are they doing anything?
Indian government, how you mean? Because
Like,
there's only about over 1 million, 1.5 million people, Indian people in Durban.
mhm.
So there's nobody really to support the Indian community. And there's a lot of racial tension. We have to admit that. I sort of explained to you, it's all a product of the apartheid era, because the way they have structured, so the Indians were in one area at that time, the blacks were in one area, the coloreds, the whites, so each one had their own areas. But when they sort of built the infrastructure, the Indians were there, and then all the black communities were like on the border, and then further out are the white areas. So if there's violence like this, who do they attack first? They attack the Indians.
Wow. All right. I am really, really appalled. I don't know what to do and what to say. I just received another video from some nonprofit CEO, which I'm going to play in a bit. And he's also suggesting that, we need a lot of help here. We really need a lot of help. And I don't know if our Indian officials or Indian government is doing anything. They're sending, they're talking. I saw some updates on Twitter. I will be calling the Indian, government again in some time. I have some numbers in India, but we are really really scared for our people there. Not sure how and what can be
It's
done.
money is useless here because even if you have all the money, where are you going to buy your supplies?
Right.
Everything is. So what we are trying to do, in fact, this is why we're going to be standing in the queue, and my friend is still in the queue, and I came out to talk to
Yeah.
you. We're
Right.
going to buy like flour and yeast or whatever. So we're going to make like our own bread and just some basic stuff, and we will take it. I personally will go up to Phoenix today and help those people. That I mean, it's just ridiculous. Bread has become a luxury.
I
It's
know.
Varun, it's heartbreaking, Varun. Absolutely. I have never in my wildest dreams seen anything like this or thought that this country is going to become like this. The factories, like there are factories like probably employ like maybe 5,000, 10,000 people, all demolished. Not only do they loot the factories, but they end up burning them as well to make sure that they don't recover. So this is a well orchestrated attempt to destroy South Africa. There must have been a lot of planning put into this. It just couldn't happen. So
Right.
the first thing they did was the trucks. You must have heard the first day we just saw 30 trucks being burnt, that were transporting food stuff and essentials.
Right.
Then they went and demolished all the malls, all the shopping malls. And Durban has got some of the most beautiful shopping malls. Absolutely looted them all. And then they went and destroyed the warehouses so that they can't replenish any stocks. And now they're going for the infrastructure. It's just, I don't know what next they're going to do. And we are all sitting on the edge right now. What
Right.
is the next plan of action?
Yeah. I know this is really heart wrenching, but Nikki, I mean, all I can do, and I would first encourage you to please go back to the line. I don't want you to miss your supplies and everything. That is
Yeah.
also very important. We'll be talking, maybe later in the night, your time, so that,
Yeah.
once you're at home and we can talk a little bit more. And I really wanted everyone to listen to somebody from South Africa, look at the real situation and scenario, because this is really, really, one, we are out of words. We are out of, thoughts as to what we can do from sitting from a different country or different part of the world. This is really really tough. I hope and I pray everything stays good. All the people who are trying to. I heard about the barricades being created and all that stuff. Please stay safe. And I mean that's all I can say, and I
Yes,
can
and now
put it to you.
trying to get us to drop the barricades. If that happens, it's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be bloodshed.
Yeah,
So they are still holding the barricades. They're just holding out the people from entering their areas. Every street, you've got everyone, all the men, they're protecting their street right now.
right.
Anyway, Varun, so I'll
All
keep
right.
you updated later
Sure.
on.
Thank you so much. Yes, and I will definitely speak to you again soon. Take care and get into the
And
line,
thank you
please.
for having me. Thank
Sure.
you. Bye
Sure. Thank
now.
you so much. All
Bye.
right. Thanks. Bye. Hello Pradeep ji. Hello. Namaskar.
नमस्कार जी।
कैसे हैं आप?
बिल्कुल ठीक है जी, थैंक यू सो मच।
हाँ जी। मुझे आई थिंक रुचि ने बताया था, आई थिंक you're from Malaysia or where are you?
Yes, I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, yes.
Kuala Lumpur. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, you've heard certain things. What do you want to say? What do you have?
Yeah, of course, I think most of us are following the happenings in South Africa,
Yeah.
and we are very, very, very sad. In fact, sitting
Yeah, of
here
course.
in Malaysia, we can feel the pain. Uh, the question now is, what can we do? I think that's really
Yep.
what we should all be asking one another. What can we do now?
Correct.
Uh, a couple of things come to my mind, and I thought I'll just share with you so
Sure.
that at least we can do something in a small way, if not, being able to help them where they are going through so much of stress and pain. Yeah. Firstly, maybe I just want to highlight a point, and everyone might want to take note of this. We have been depending on the police and depending on the army and so on and so forth. I'm inclined to think that one of the reasons why the police and the army is not behaving and acting the way they should is because probably, and I'm just assuming probably, their own relatives are on the other side of the fence doing all the looting and rioting.
Quite
Uh,
possible.
so, so why would they want to kill their own people, their own relatives?
Yeah.
Let them take some stuff home. So I think this at the same time has to be an important lesson for all of us because if it can happen in a lovely place like South Africa, Durban, it can happen anywhere in the world tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think all of us have to open our eyes. It has already happened in Uganda, right? It has
Yeah.
already happened in Fiji before, and it has happened in many countries, right from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and so on. And there's no reason why it cannot happen in other countries of the world where there are minority Indians. You know, so this is, I think, the first point. I just want to leave this thought with as many people as possible. The second thing is, what can we do? I think to start with, if each one of us can just create some awareness about the issue, a little bit of awareness in our own way, that itself is a small effort in helping our people and helping everybody for that matter, not just our people in Durban in South Africa. So let everybody listen to this and say, okay, I'm going to create some awareness. I'm going to inform my relative. I'm going to inform my neighbor. I'm going to inform somebody in the UK, in the US, or wherever it is, and let this awareness be created. Because then, the more this word spreads, I think the more the sense of urgency comes about. And we have a habit of being very shy whenever we are being hit. We like to be quiet. We like to be silent, and I think one of our scholars once mentioned it, and it struck my mind. He said, we very often behave like rape victims. We are being beaten, and then after being beaten, we're very, very shy to talk about it. So I think let's come out of that mindset and go out on top of the roof and make as much noise as we can, and let the whole world listen to us. That, hey guys, there's something not right here, and this has got to be fixed. So I would say, what can we do now? Number one is create as much awareness as we can. Number two, what I would say is that right now there is a huge shortage of supplies in South Africa, especially in Durban. Um, Everybody there who has been affected is going to need food, is going to need supplies, is going to need all sorts of uh, toiletries and other items as well, medicines probably. Can we, wherever we are in different parts of the world, can we somehow quickly rally together and try to put as much of these supplies as possible onto either a freighter plane or a ship or something to get there as soon as possible? You know, so if there's something we can do now to help them come out of this as soon as possible, it's to find a way to see how we can get supplies in there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So this I think is another practical thing we can do right now.
Right.
And
We've been trying. I'll be honest, Pradeep ji. If you know of somebody, the problem right now is we are not even sure if we do something like that, what is the guarantee that that plane or that particular freight would not be looted and would not be burned down? That is
yeah,
a big problem. That is a big
yeah,
question right now, and we don't want to
yeah,
waste the entire effort of getting all that.
mm,
The most important thing right now is for the government officials need to act. From what I've
yeah,
heard from people on the ground in South Africa, the biggest problem right now is they can't even the especially the Indian diaspora, the people who are stuck, they are not even ready to trust the
yeah,
officials,
I
because
agree. I
they,
agree.
to the same point. I think you mentioned that point earlier on, that it's quite
Uh-huh.
possible that it's their own people. So why would
Yeah,
they kill their own people?
correct. Exactly. So you're right in a way. If we send things, whether it'll reach anybody, but you know what? I look at it slightly differently. I prefer to try and fail and say that, yeah, we did send, but it didn't reach, rather than say that, what's the point of sending? It may get looted. That's probably an assumption. That assumption may turn out right.
Yeah,
But I prefer to take the first path
yeah,
to
got
say,
it.
guys, let us send it. It's okay.
Yeah,
And, we hope it'll reach. And if it doesn't reach, never mind. We have done our part, you
right.
know. So
I
I
see a
prefer to
comment
take that
here.
position.
I'm gonna take this comment here. Sashni
Please,
Ramni. He is
please.
from Durban in South Africa, and he is mentioning things are getting worst. Things
Yeah.
are the worst hit area, and if anyone can help, please do. People are suffering from food and medical supplies.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Sashni, I don't know if you can, if there are people who could maybe connect with people from outside of South Africa like us. It would really help. So, if you can mention somebody, if you can connect, you have my details. I'm ready to take the lead here. You could
Yeah.
email us, or you could WhatsApp me. It's on the screen right now. I can put it in the chat as well, but it's on the video. Please reach out
Mm,
to us, please connect with us, and I would love to connect with people who can maybe try to send some food, medical supplies,
mm,
some of these essentials
mm.
right away there. So please help
Yes,
us.
yes, yes. If you could really take this lead, we are all with you on this because you have this media channel. If you can take the lead,
Sure.
all of us can reach out to the business communities in different parts of the world, try to put some goods together and get them shipped out as soon as we can.
Yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
and yeah, a couple of days will go by, but well, we have to start somewhere. You know.
Correct, correct. No, absolutely, I agree, and I think this is a Sashni, if you can, and I'll connect with Nikki. I have some more contacts sitting right now in South Africa. If we can get one particular connection, one lead, who could be the point of contact there, we'll be more than happy to coordinate things on the back end here.
Yeah. I think the question of context is not an issue. There are plenty of contacts we have in on our database. Plenty. In fact, it runs in the hundreds.
Okay,
So we just need someone outside of South Africa to mobilize goods going into Africa now,
okay,
and we can get everybody onto a WhatsApp group, more than 100 people, within
okay,
a minute.
okay. Perfect. So let me do that. Thanks to Ruchi for connecting me with you. Let me see
Thank
what
you.
else I can. I'm chatting with a couple of people here. So I
Okay,
will definitely try to act fast, and let's see if we
please,
can.
sir. That would be really nice, and I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Pradeep ji.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Senthil. How are you?
Very fine. How are you?
Bas sir, आप देख ही रहे हैं. I mean, it's crazy. All the things happening in South Africa are really driving all of us really, really crazy. And we're trying to figure out what can be done and how we can do something about it.
Okay, there are some good news actually. Our External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has already contacted their counterpart, Dr. Nalindi, that lady, and also our Middle East Africa Secretary Sanjay Bhattacharya has already contacted the Commissioner, High Commissioner Joel. Okay, and Indian government is on track, and they're watching and they're working on it. And also in terms of what can aids can be sent, I think individuals need not do that. I'm not, please listen to this. Don't mistake me actually. See, India has a foreign reserves of $610 billion. It's a big money, right? India has money, and which is our foreign reserves. So India has enough money to fund any of these issues actually worldwide, and they're ready to send their supplies. But only thing is that the counterparts in South Africa have to accept this kind of help, because even for a country to receive the help, it becomes a prestige matter. Come on, I cannot handle it myself, I can. But if you look at the issue, Varun, most of the time, it is the opposition, which creates this kind of chaos when they are not in power, taking one such issue and making it, blowing it out of proportion. But similarly, even the ruling government, I'm not talking about any particular country, ruling government also allows this to happen to expose the opposition. Now, how do I say that? You look at what happened in the last 6 days, 7 days. There is only 5,000 troops have been deployed, and now they are saying they have to deploy 25,000. It doesn't take, see, for us to help people from outside, it might take several days. But as a government, when things went so wrong on the first 2 days, and even on the seventh day, you say, okay, now we are going to deploy 25,000, that means somewhere you allowed this to happen. And look at what is the, what is the damage. 72 people have been died. That is reported one. We don't know how many not reported. And for that, the number of people arrested, you look at the videos, in different parts of South Africa, there is only 1,234 people have been arrested. And on just Wednesday alone, 208 lootings and vandalism has happened. What is law? What is authorities doing about it? And 800 retail shops have been looted. Then where is the protection? This can happen in any country. But are you going to allow people to do this? And then what is police doing? And what is authorities doing? And one former president being arrested for, he has done a mistake, and he has, corruption has happened, and he's been arrested. Just for that arrest, you do this? No, the targeting the Indians, and I know worldwide, Indians are doing very good in every field. The local people there, and it is a natural tendency to have jealousy factor, which is going to happen across the globe. Like British colonization, we Indians are occupying every part of the world with our very good culture. We conduct ourselves very well, and we are doing economy wise, we are doing very good. And in most of the businesses, we are flourishing. So it is indirectly creating, the jealousy factor. I see that in Dubai also. I had a different feeling about Africans in general, because Gandhi was there, and I thought that Indians and Africans are the same kind of breed. We suffered the same way, and I thought they also love us the same way we love them. But it was so surprising after coming to Dubai, and I was working for a US based company where I was supposed to handle Africa. I was surprised that they don't connect to us actually, and there is some disconnect. And the way we Indians feel about African, they don't reciprocate the same. And I'll just tell you what happened in my place. Especially where I'm staying, there are a lot of Africans, and they are the people who didn't follow the rule. In country like UAE, which is so strict, police gave up on them. They don't wear the mask. They come to the supermarket, they don't wear the mask. It so happened to me one day, I went to the supermarket. I just told one gentleman, please wear the mask. They ganged up outside the supermarket in a place like UAE to hit me. They said, come outside, and even shooting has happened. And immediately I had to call the police, and the police came and took me from the shop and dropped me back to the, resident. This is during pandemic. So Africans over a period of time, I think they need to behave themselves. Every given opportunity, they are behaving inhuman, right? And we had soft corner towards them because of colonization, what happened to them, and Indians always stood by them. But unfortunately, their behavior toward Indians is, it's very sad what is happening. But look at what happens in terms of economy. 129,000 jobs are at risk, and 1.5 million people are home without salary, which is 15 million. This is about South Africa. But our total Indian population is again, around 15 lakh Indian people are there. And how many people are affected? 50,000 informal traders are hit, 40,000 businesses are hit. And it's sad. It's sad actually. And do you know what is the damage in terms of economy? $1 billion damage.
Yeah.
Already, because of pandemic, the kind of damage has happened in terms of job loss and in terms of economy. Now this is going to put much further burden onto people.
Yeah.
And I was
Actually, I
listening.
just have a video now. I've been
Please
like
go.
I was telling. Let me just play. I think even in that video, something what you're sharing is being mentioned. So let's watch this video as well. I really want to emphasize, since you brought up some data points, so let me just play this video.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, Sat Sri Akal, and good evening to all you national and international viewers. I'm Akash Maharaj, CEO and Managing Partner of Endorphin Global and the Endorphin Foundation, a non-profit company headquartered here in South Africa. Tonight, I'm taking to social and mainstream media to raise international awareness of the dire plight headquartered here in South Africa of Indian descent and the South African people in general. What was once the beautiful coastal city of Durban on the east coast of South Africa in KwaZulu-Natal has now literally become a burning ember on the tapestry of this potentially beautiful and diverse country. For those of you that do not know, Durban is home to the largest population of people of Indian descent outside India itself. The Indian people were brought into South Africa by the British government as indentured slaves to work on the sugarcane plantations, and our fathers and grandparents toiled to build this country. We worked with the indigenous black people of this land, fought for freedom side by side with the black people as our comrades and brothers, and today we unfortunately find ourselves in the desperate plight of being the target of ongoing racial and economic prejudice and violence. Right now, we need to let the world know that we are in a state of civil unrest. Businesses are being looted and buildings are being burnt. Our infrastructure is being systematically eradicated and destroyed, and the police and National Defense Force has quite frankly proven to be totally ineffective. Our communities have had to band together and quite literally stand hard and protect their homes and families from these criminals and thugs. This has nothing to do with the imprisonment of our former President Jacob Zuma. It is nothing more than an opportunistic form of criminality and a short-sighted attempt to bring this country and its people to their knees. The irony is that it will be these very same people that will tomorrow cry out to the world that they have no jobs and no food and no access to medical and basic health care. These very same black communities that are employed by these businesses and have been supported by the generosity and charity of these businesses and the Indian communities themselves. We've lost our businesses, we've lost our incomes, we have lost all forms of food security, and most terrifyingly, we are losing our lives to these looters and criminals. It has become a free-for-all, and in typical style, as soon as Indians, or anyone for that matter, stands up and starts trying to protect their families, this gets labeled as a racial issue. I urge everyone across the world to heed the plight of the country and please assist us with medical supplies. We need food, water, baby formula, diapers, and to keep the pressure on the South African government to declare a state of emergency and to start playing an active role in providing security to the innocent citizens of this country. The Constitution allows our president to declare a national state of emergency with immediate effect in times of war, civil unrest, or even natural disasters, to be implemented for a period of at least 21 days. We need world leaders to unite and pressure the South African government to take swift and decisive action. We are living in fear and have run out of basic essential food and medical items. People with chronic conditions are also in grave danger. The situation in South Africa is absolutely dire. There are no words to describe the manner in which our beloved country is literally burning. We need the world to help us now. Time is a luxury we do not have to sit around a boardroom table and discuss political solutions while innocent civilians are losing their lives and their livelihoods. All major roads are blocked, vehicles are being targeted, looted, and burned. Businesses are looted, and then the empty shells are literally set ablaze until there's nothing to even salvage. Medical supply manufacturing plants are razed to the ground. Millions of dollars of plant and equipment and machinery is being destroyed. Our country will not survive this crisis. It will take years to rebuild, not only as a South African and a proud person of Indian descent, but as a businessman, son, and father. I implore you, all of you watching, NRIs, PIOs, and the world in general, to please assist South Africa in whatever way possible and to help us coordinate a high impact relief effort to keep our families alive and safe during this devastating time. So to get in touch, please get onto the Endorphin Foundation website on www.endorphinfoundation.com and reach out to us via the contact forms and see how you can help. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to add Anita ji as well from South Africa. Hello, Anita ji.
Namaste.
Namaste. कैसी हैं और प्लीज कहाँ से हैं और टेल अस वहाँ का क्या सिचुएशन क्या है and how can we
Okay. I am Anita Hariram and I am 5th generation in South Africa, and I hail from Phoenix, which is in South Africa, KZN, to the province KZN, and Phoenix is actually north of Durban. Phoenix was one of the very first Indian townships that came together after the Group Areas Act, when us Indians were displaced from Inanda. So this is where we were placed in Phoenix. So and Phoenix is home, like Akashji mentioned, Phoenix is home to the largest population of PIOs, that is Indians, of South African Indians, I should say, the largest Indian population outside of India. And I'm a community activist, very involved in terms of community projects, community seva, involved with many organizations to always be assisting the community at large here in Phoenix.
Okay. And so at this point of time where you are and around you, how is the situation and how do you think anybody from outside of South Africa can help? What is your take, and do you have any connections like that?
You know, this has really hit all of us. I mean, if you look at, the 1949 riots, the 1985 riots, it was like 36 years apart. And I don't know whether this has something to do with coincidence or what, but if you look at 1985 to 2021, precisely and on the dot 36 years again, we are faced with the situation. The only difference here is that it is not just one population or one race sect that is in fact affected. It is South Africa on a whole that is affected. Come black, white, Indian colors. As you all may know, that South Africa is a very diverse country. We have four race groups here, and we all live in harmony. So the difference between the 1949 and the 1985 is that this is now targeting the entire race group of South Africa. So the situation here right now, look, it's absolutely quiet, absolutely peaceful. We do not hear any gunshots like when it first started. I mean, we like about 7 or 8 days into this mayhem of ours.
Yeah.
And it is not like how it was, where you're sitting now and all of a sudden you hear gunshots or you hear something exploding. One or two incidents that is here and there, like, I mean, yesterday, for instance, the very old, and it was historical marketplace in a Sipingo that is south of Durban now, that they torched. And then there was another shopping center that they torched. So these are all isolated incidents now. I think things are starting to come back to normal. And knowing us as South Africans, I know that we will unite and we will bring this country to the glory that we know it for. And I love South Africa. I mean, first and foremost, yes, I have my roots. My allegiance is also to Bharat, but I am a South African first. And this is where it has given me so much. And uh, I wouldn't say that our government doesn't know what it's doing. Uh, Everything takes time. I mean, of course, like we say, I mean, like Mandela said when he was released in 1994, he says that you cannot achieve anything by violence. Now, if one sect is volatile and we retaliate with violence, we're just going to be making matters even worse. So the government is today, as I know, as we speak, our president is out on the ground. I know the N3 that has been blocked for a while, because remember the N3 is our hub from Johannesburg to Durban, Durban to Johannesburg, to deliver supplies and stuff like that, is now open. So things are starting to get back to normal. We have shops that are starting to open. Food security has never been a problem in South Africa. I mean, throughout the lockdown, we've had food in plentiful for everybody. It's just, it is very, very, very uncertain, very frightening at times. And like last night, for instance, at like 2 in the morning, we hear this community is like about, I'd say like about 10 k's away from me, another Indian community, they were being attacked. And I mean, I've got family, I've got relatives there. They had to evacuate the houses for fear of being targeted or being hurt. So the best thing they did was just pack up and they left. But the army, oh yes, and another thing is, we must be appreciative of your external ministry for talking to our external ministry. They are in speaking, and our ministry has promised your ministry that they are going to do everything in the power to safeguard us, especially Indians. But moreover, I mean, the entire South Africa is their responsibility. But they did promise your external minister that they will be taking care of us. But they are, and again, like I say, when that incident happened in Duff's Road, we were all like awake now, and we said, that is not, it's only like about 5 k's away from us. What's stopping them from coming to us? But thankfully, again, like I say, due to the discussion between your ministry and our ministry, as opposed to 5,000 SANDF members, now we have like about 30,000 SANDF members on the ground. Our police force is working with SANDF. So the both parties yesterday managed to calm the situation down, and it was later known that it was not because of the looting, right? It was because of a faction between just themselves. So again, like I say, we all with mixed feelings here. Whenever we know that they're coming to target us, immediately we say they're coming for us. I mean, it's an instinct. It's an instinct. But just to our Bharat Vasio, it's absolutely frightening. I mean, the on Sunday, when we got wind that like not even 50 meters away from me, that this informal settlements were coming out to invade our properties and things like that, we didn't know what to do. And we were like, what do you do now? You plan for it, but I promise you, when you are in that moment, you go totally blank. You don't know what to do.
True. No, I'm hearing. It's a little uh, comforting to hear you, but I really want to hear others as well. Vibhaji is here also from South Africa. I'll take you, Shalini, in the end. But Vibhaji, you want to tell us a little bit about where you are and how's the situation there?
Varun, one clarification from both
Yeah,
the people from South Africa.
sure.
See, there is somebody who is instigating and also trying to, anger the people, right? You see what happened one day before. A 14-year-old boy was killed, and very, very near to him from his back of the head, right? And there was no violence there. Basically, they were looting, actually. So while they were looting, they were not killing anybody. There was no violence, but they were looting, and somebody goes and kills a 14-year-old boy, and that too from the back of his head. So that shows that the minute you do that, and that community is going to get angry, and then they're going to spread violence. That means somewhere across the country, there is somebody, I don't know which party or which, somebody trying to unrest us. Point number one. Point number two is that you all know that worldwide today, IT users and also people on social media are Indians. So if Indians are attacked, and Indians are the people who are going to go all over social media everywhere talking about this problem. So somewhere it could be a strategic political reason why they are attacking Indians, and why, if we all say that the problem is getting solved, but yesterday with the shooting of the 14-year-old boy, it's going to create more unrest. Somewhere people are being provocated. I just want to know from you guys, who is doing this and why this is happening.
Yeah, before I go back to Anita ji, Vibhaji, can you hear us?
Hi, Varun. Yes,
Hi.
yes, I can hear you.
Hi,
I
Ji.
can hear you.
Yes, please.
Namaste to everybody in the show. I just have not much to say because, Varun, I stay in Johannesburg and all these things are happening in Durban. So, but how I hear from the news and everything, obviously things are bad. Obviously they are bad. And there has been callousness from the part of the administration as well. You see, they should have controlled it like long before when this all thing started.
Correct.
But as the gentleman said just now, South Africa is such a beautiful country. It's a joy to live in, I would say. People are very peaceful out here, Varun. I haven't come across any such incidents in my in the past 25 years I've been living in South Africa.
Wow.
It's peaceful people. They don't involve themselves in all these things. There is definitely a targeted, a campaign which is going on to cause unrest for sure.
Right.
Because it's easy, you can instigate. Inciting is the easiest thing, Varun, you can do. You have a group of people, they follow a leadership. It's very easy to influence innocent people. You see,
Correct.
you incite them. And our previous president Zuma he is from Durban. He has got a strong fan following.
Right.
You
Correct.
see,
Correct.
so what I would say is my heart is literally crying, because I love South Africa. It's the most beautiful country I've come across. So God, I'm sure everything will be okay, Varun.
Okay, let's pray for and
Thanks, Varun.
keep the hopes
Thanks.
alive. Yeah, thank you. Shalini, do you wanna, last के 2-3 दिन या 4 दिन जितने भी हुए हैं, you've been kind of back and forth with a lot of people in South Africa. You wanna share your thoughts and everything that you think?
Hi, Varun. Hi,
Right.
everybody. I have quite a few things to share.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so let me start with what I know of, what I've talked to people about and on the ground, and what I've read so far. So what I understand is that the origin of this riot was, of course, Zuma. Retaliation for his arrest is how it started. It was a planned event. It wasn't something out of the blue. It wasn't something which was spur of the moment. There are various messages which have circulated on WhatsApp. It was a carefully, strategically planned thing. So not all the looters were actually, they didn't intend to do all this. It started with looting. So what I've been told is that initially looters would go and loot whatever they could. And of course, majority of the poor people went and did that. And then after that, the real rioters would go and burn the place down. So this was planned. Everything was planned. How did the Indian community come under attack? I've also had this question, and I've been asking people. So I got to know two things. One is that this is history repeating itself. The apartheid that happened in 80s. From there on, there was a certain divide because at that time also Indians were attacked. Houses were burned, people were killed in huge numbers. And so this time, apparently, and this is what I've heard. When this all was being planned and some looters went to a liquor shop in an Indian area, uh, there was exchange of gunfire. The shop was not of Indians, but they had guns. Probably they were whites, so they had guns. No, they were not white. Sorry, they were also black. So um, when they shot back, in that exchange of fire, one person from the writer's side died. Now, this person who died was the son of a very influential person. There's something called a cab service there. So he was the owner of one of the largest cab services there. But when the news reached him, it didn't go as, who killed his son. He was told that Indians have killed their son. So the agenda became that now we have to take revenge. In the middle of all this looting and rioting, we have to take revenge. This is one. The other thing that I've heard was that also because they felt that Indians were soft targets. Indians will not retaliate. Indians will not defend themselves. So it'll be easier to show more damage by attacking them. And the plan was that the next would be the whites. Amongst all this, it's not that all the blacks are attacking only Indians. In the community that they live in, there are all people. There are blacks, there are whites, I'm sorry, I'm using these words. These are not the words to be used. So there were Africans, there were white-skinned people and Indians. And at this point in time, when they're protecting themselves with barricades and whatever rods, sticks, knives, whatever they have, it's all everyone together. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, the native Africans over there, the whites, everybody is together. They are passing on information to each other. It is just humanity versus these, I don't know what to call them. So this is all politically fueled. I asked this question as well, that why was the president sitting, for so many days? Why didn't he stop it right in the beginning? So I got two pieces of information. One was that he let it happen so that all the blame goes on Zuma and the tide turns against him. Even his supporters would probably, the other supporters would get influenced. What he didn't know was that they already knew what they had to do. It was already planned. So, and he only realized when the situation got out of hand. And in his cabinet, there are many Zuma supporters. So probably he was in the blind, probably his intelligence failed. The other information I got to know was that the military chief, and I do not know, I still have to verify this information. The person who controls the military in South Africa is Zuma's wife. So when you were asking, why aren't they killing their own? You have the answer. Okay. Now, current situation, yes, the president is on ground and he was supposed to come. Yes, as Jaishankar has spoken to his counterpart in South Africa, all those things are happening. But the ground reality is they still fear for their lives. You must have heard this on Varun's show already. They have packed their bags, they're ready to leave. Imagine the plight of those children, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old. They are in a war situation. They're not in a war-like situation. They are in that situation. This incident has also happened where they were told to remove barricades. And they said that if you don't remove it, the mayor came and said, if you don't remove it, military will come and shoot you. And I told my friends, I said, do not do that. That's a trap for you. They are doing this so that you can open the barricades and you can come in. And later on, I came to know that the mayor is also Zuma's guy. So it was proven that, this is again being done to attack as many Indians as possible. So military has come, but it's not there on the ground, as much to protect them. They are still protecting themselves and they shall continue to do so because they do not believe anybody right now. They are in fact even checking even if a police jeep comes in or a police car comes in, they verify their identity before letting them in. So I would say that this situation has made Indians, that community, not just Indians, the entire community, they're more resilient, stronger, and I would say what I hear from people is, the kind of planning that they have, the communication that they have is world class. Minute by minute, they know everything, who's where, what's happening. Last night, there were about 100 gunfire shots And the kids heard it too, right? The kids are hearing. They're also not sleeping. So till last night, this was what was happening. So today, nothing will drastically change. Yes, you heard, what is economically, socially. Yes, this country's gone down, gone behind 10 years. What I read is that the retailers, have lost $340 million, which is 5 billion rands so far. And the looting still continues. The food trucks and the other trucks that come, 40 trucks have been burnt to ashes, which is another $300 million. So yes, economically, this country is, I don't know what is going to happen. I do not know what was the president thinking. The shortage, the need of the hour is food, of course, medical supplies, and fuel. They have looted fuel as well. Okay, so the idea was not just to, it was not the plan of looters. It is not a looting incident alone. This is to destroy South Africa, to release Zuma, so that there is a pressure put on the president and they release Zuma. That's all this is. And this is going to continue until there's a very hard step taken. There's so much to say, actually. There's too much to tell you guys. I have already spoken to somebody to arrange for food and medical supplies to be sent to South Africa. I will speak to Varun about it after the show.
Okay.
One channel is definitely the Indian Embassy, which I'm announcing here right now. There are a few NGOs too who have been working in South Africa. South Africa is another thing which we not many people would know, is that there's this place, I can't pronounce the name, the two places where the maximum damage is being done. What's it called? It's a difficult name to pronounce. Okay, so that is the main hub for importing all the agricultural products and stuff like that. KwaZulu Natal, I think, yeah. And this is the epicenter of looting, writing and looting. Now here, it is the major producer of all, the agricultural products. And it is also an entry point for imported food products, wheat, rice, oil, etc., etc. And they have destroyed the largest warehouse that was here. They have destroyed it, not just taken the food supplies, they've destroyed it. And many of the neighboring African countries were dependent on South Africa for their food. Many of them. They are also worried about it now because they can see the danger looming right in front of them. So yes, food is going to be a major, major issue. And I have found a channel through which we probably will be able to send it directly to them. And we will hope that it doesn't get swallowed in between somewhere. One, like I said, was the embassy. There are few NGOs also working, which is there on the net if you go and search for it. They have been working for South Africa, not South Africa, for African countries mostly. And if you actually look at, in 2020's data and 2019's data, there has always been a food shortage in most of the African countries, not South Africa as much. The only thing that South Africa has more of is, criminal records, criminal history, and criminals. The crime rate is very, very high in South Africa. So if yes, we must help all the Indians over there. And like I said, I have discovered 2 channels. I still have to speak to them as to how will we do it. But I've discovered 2 channels. I don't want to announce them over here because
Sure.
I don't want any other person to know how are we going to help them, because we just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So Indian Embassy is the safest to announce over here. So if somebody has contacts in the Indian Embassy, you can try that channel, definitely. Okay. I'm done. That's all I wanted to say.
Perfect.
There are a few more things, but I'll probably speak about it later.
I think Anita ji also wanted to, she was nodding, and somewhere she also wants to add. So Anita ji, please go ahead. What do you want to add, or what do you want to say?
Look, again, I'm not going to deny that we have outside forces, that we have this criminal forces, and in every country.
Sorry, I apologize. I didn't mean to portray it like that. I meant in terms of
no, by far. The thing is, yes, politics has played its citizens a very, very raw deal. Um, they did not consider the people that actually put them in power. They did not consider, the people that are actually paying the taxes. They did not consider so much of things. Yes, we are also frustrated with our politicians, and we know for a fact that for 27 years now that ANC has been in power. And if you look around, whatever they were handed from the apartheid era, not much has been done. But the thing is, when they came into power, we all know this, that when they started to see money, that is when they only thought about themselves. I mean, in a pandemic, can you believe it? In a pandemic, you have your health minister, for crying out loud, you have your health minister who's worried about pocketing money for himself, as opposed to giving that money back to the society. And also, for a fact, we all know for a fact that due to politics, I mean, AstraZeneca was sent to us for our use. But what we did, we sold it to another African country. That was all politics, because they said the efficacy on in AstraZeneca was not good. So the thing is, politics is absolutely devious. It does not have blood. Politics don't have blood, right? So the thing is, they played us a raw deal, and what eventually happened is they played people against people. And here now, like Madam G said, is that we have barricades. And the thing is, now we've seen blacks are mainly looting. So when you come through that barricade, we're not worried about an Indian or a white, to search an Indian or a white, but we search in a black because it is like instinctive, right? But later on we realize, no, wait guys, we have to search everybody. So when we set out these barricades in our districts, yes, the premier came and asked us to remove them, but we retaliated and we said, no, we're not going to remove them. And so the form of communication, yes, like ma'am says, we have a very strong form of communication. Like now I am in Palmview, right? So I live in a little road, so I've got a WhatsApp group for this little road of mine. Then we've got a WhatsApp group for the main road that connects Palmview. Then we've got another WhatsApp group. So now you have my road, then you have the main road, then you have another WhatsApp group for the entire Palmview. Then you have another group for a WhatsApp group of the entire Phoenix. So if I'm having a problem in my road, I call up my main road. My main road would call up backup for Palmview. My Palmview will call up backup for Phoenix. So that is how us as civilians and us as citizens manage to protect what is ours. The other reasoning behind the barricade was that, remember, Phoenix is surrounded by informal settlements. Now, informal settlements is in every country, you get it, right? Here we have I have an informal settlement, just only a river is bordering us. There's nothing stopping them from coming here. They have a thoroughfare through Palmview. This is their main entry and exit, so that they've got nowhere else to go to. So when they were looting, they were hijacking vehicles. All right. So we said, okay, the only way we're going to stop this is if we put up barricades and we close off the main entry and the main exit point. And when these guys come in, then we know we search them. And that way we found so many hijacked vehicles, and the goods that were looted, we managed to call the police and hand it over the police. So somewhere along the line we were trying to avert that, but that became nasty now, where now like a panchayat, you have like in India you have a panchayat, right? So these informal settlements work in the very same way. So they have a chief, right? So the chief now rules that informal settlement. So we had a dialogue with the chief, and we said to him, look, we want peace, And in answering back to us, he says, yes, you want peace. So what you do for me is allow my guys to loot as much as they want and just allow them to enter the townships. Now tell me, we know for a fact now that we've got so many main shopping centers here in KwaZulu-Natal. If we let them loot, they would have been finished by now. They did not manage to, we safeguarded Gateway, Crescent, Gateway, Crescent, La Lucia, Kenobia, and Phoenix Plaza. Right, Phoenix Plaza is the biggest one that serves the entire Phoenix community. We managed to save those malls because of this barricade and because of the community forming a guard. So the chief didn't like that because these are also the centers that he wanted to target. So this is where the faction became even worse. So, and then like Sir was saying is that, we somewhere along the line, a child got hit. We don't know from the Indian side or the black side. We don't know. We were actually surprised to hear that there were so many deaths, right? 177 deaths to total. How that happened, I can't say, right? But again, yes, politics, this has been planned. We paying we're paying a very big price for just 2 cups of tea. We know for a fact that when EFF President Julius Malema had tea with Zuma, that is when this entire plot started to, but we didn't realize it at that time. But when everything started to fall in place, when we put 2 and 2 together, and then we realized that this entire thing was a major plot. And that's one of the reasons why Mr. Zuma didn't hand himself over until the very last minute, because his advisors knew what they were going to do. Of course, they want to bring, because KwaZulu-Natal is one of the most, it is the most, how should I put it, highest contributor to the economy, right? And they wanted to bring KwaZulu-Natal down to its feet. And because KwaZulu-Natal is Zuma's homeland, okay, in Kandla is his homestead, but KwaZulu-Natal is where he's got all his followers. So this is where they targeted. So yes, I'm not going to deny that politics and things like that, but we don't want to get involved with politics, because at the end of the day, we know now who we need to bring in power, who we need to take out of power. We have made the mind up there. But what I want to say is that people underestimated that what Indians can do when the time comes. Mahatma Gandhi ji taught us ahimsa, but this is one time we didn't heed the call to ahimsa. We said an eye for an eye this time. And when the community came out, they came out in droves. We were actually working with the polices. And if we were not there with the polices, unfortunately, then I think we would have been having a bloodbath.
Got it. No, absolutely. I think whatever Mahatma Gandhiji taught, I think that was something which was part of history right now. I would say at this point of time, we cannot just follow that. It is so dangerous right now. I've seen those videos. I definitely cannot explain it because, of course, I'm not experiencing it. But listening from people who are locked down inside their home, and they don't even know which bullet is going to hit them and when, and which fire thing is going to come and burn out their home, is really yes, please.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I just want to, when you're saying that, right, like I mentioned, on Sunday, when we got this message that we are going to be targeted, I promise you, we didn't know which angle to turn. All we said is we got the road WhatsApp group. I said, right, guys, ladies, children, to my house right now. Men on the road. And there's your position, ladies, in my house. We took all the ladies, we took all the children, and we locked ourselves in the back room because we said, again, like you said, if bullets hit, they can hit through windows. We avoided window fronts and stuff like that. And it was an absolute mayhem. We were all shivering. We were crying. We didn't know. We were away from our families. And to live it, I promise you, it is just another feeling on its own. And people were saying pray, people were saying do sadhana, people were saying meditate. Your mind is not there. We are fatigued at the moment. We haven't been sleeping for the 8 days. We haven't been sleeping because we've been holding vigils. We've been standing outside our yards. It's winter. We in winter now. It's cold. We had to get people under one place, make fires. These are all the things that we have to go through. We you know Sleep is a luxury at the moment for us.
True.
The minute you close your eyes for 1 minute, you like you hearing things. So, for again, to my Bharat brothers and sisters, we really want to say that we appreciate your support. We appreciate how you feel our pain, but at the same time, that support is giving us a bit of hope. All we have now is just hope. All we have now is just hope, and we can hope and pray that our government realizes now what he's done wrong and come back and fix things up.
Sure. All right. Before we end, I see Ruchi as well join, and Shalini. Then you could end this session as well. But Ruchi, please go ahead and explain to us or tell us the last few days. We've been in touch as well. Please explain, Karan, how are you feeling and what are the things you want to talk about?
Yes, Varun, thank you so much. I was just listening to what Anita ji said now and what she said earlier. In fact, I've been in touch with few people from South Africa as well. And trust me, it's been so overwhelming hearing them cry on the phone, especially kids in the background. Like Shalini also mentioned, kids can hear gunshots.
Yep.
People haven't slept for days. And then, I understand there are parts of South Africa which are probably not as much affected as Durban and especially Phoenix. So, to say that there is plenty of food in one part of South Africa, that's a privilege, that's really nice. And I appreciate, and I say, God bless you guys. You guys are so lucky. But there is another picture that needs to go out of a different part of South Africa, which is Phoenix, where people are, I think a lot have been spoken about how much they've been looted and what all they're going through. It just breaks my heart to say all of that. But all I'm here right now is for making a request to people from other parts of South Africa who are not affected as much as people in Phoenix, Durban, and other parts. Please, 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 guys, bring out the real picture. Let them have their say. We are the only hope that they have, through which they can reach out to the ministries, they can ask for help. If you guys will present your part of the picture, then I think their efforts will all be defeated. So my request to everyone in South Africa, please help the people who are affected, reach their voices to the government, not only in South Africa, but every corner of the world. We have to try whatever we can in our abilities and help them as much as we can. Because as I remember Pradeep ji said, if it's happened in South Africa today, we can't say when things could change around for the world. So let's just pray for everyone's safety and let's hope everyone comes out of it unharmed. Thank you and God bless.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ruchi. All right, Shalini, please end this, and we can talk again later in another
Sure,
session.
sure. I just wanted to say this in the end, that we all know kya ho raha hai. We all know. We of course cannot imagine the kind of struggle and pain our fellow Indians and I would say all the people there are facing. Imagine, ये trauma इनके साथ कितने सालों तक रहेगा, उन बच्चों के साथ कितने सालों तक रहेगा, और ये कब खत्म होगा हमको नहीं पता. So I will just talk about the next steps, and as Ruchi rightly said, रुचि और मैं पिछले कुछ दिनों से हम यही कोशिश कर रहे थे कि ये बात, ये इंसिडेंट, ये इवेंट जो है ये वर्ल्ड मीडिया कवर करे. We didn't see much of coverage initially. Then we've been trying to reach out to each and आपके पास भी आए हम लोग वरुण, ऐसे ही हम और प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी गए. एंड मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया इन इंडिया, आई रीच्ड आउट टू देम एंड we have received coverage from them as well today, and it's happening again tomorrow, and they've agreed to cover it for the next few days as well. And we're trying to get as many people to speak about their condition in South Africa, to put pressure. This is basically to put pressure so that, you know, because the way it's being projected right now in other media channels world over is कि ये साउथ अफ्रीका में हो रहा है, राइटिंग हो रही है, लूटिंग हो रही है, लेकिन कोई इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव से बात नहीं कर रहा था. दैट्स द रीजन वी रीच्ड आउट टू द इंडियन मीडिया, एंड नाउ दे आर एक्चुअली टेलिंग द प्लाइट ऑफ इंडियंस ओवर देयर. सो यस, ट्विटर के थ्रू, फेसबुक के थ्रू, जितने भी चैनल्स हैं, जितने भी forums हैं, please go ahead and please tell the world what's actually happening on the ground there. दूसरा step forward, like I said, food, medicine is something जो हम लोग उनके पास पहुंचा सकते हैं, and we must plan for that. आप please अपने अपने channels ढूंढिए. जो मेरे पास हैं, I'll share it with Varun, and you can get in touch with him to see how can you help, because this is a very long journey, I feel. ये आजकल में नहीं होने वाला है. It's going to take some time. So a request to everybody over here, please help as much as you can in whatever way you can, and pray for South Africa, pray for all the people over there, please.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna end this for now, but as I said, we'll do more of these connections with the people on ground. We will work offline as well. I'll try to connect certain people. You know, that's the only thing we can do, staying outside of South Africa. But जैसे शाली ने कहा, जैसे सबने कहा, let's all just pray for people in South Africa, be it Indians, be it anybody, you know, of any color, any creed. Let's just pray for South Africa, and hopefully things will change for the better soon. जो loss हुआ है वो हुआ है, but we have to, you know, come out of this and have everybody safe and sound. So thank you so much again, Shalini, for doing what you're doing for Ruchi, and thank you, Anita ji, and everybody, Pradeep ji, everybody who joined. We'll continue to share details, and we'll continue to pray for South Africa. Take care. Jai Hind.
Thank
Jai
you.
Bharat.
Jai
Thank you
Hind.
so much. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.